Another day of testimony in the trial against Waukesha parade attack suspect Darrell Brooks. On the witness stand, Brooks' ex-girlfriend Erica Patterson. She testified that Brooks physically assaulted her during an argument right before driving his SUV into the Waukesha Christmas parade in November of last year.
6 people died in that attack. Now, Brooks has pleaded not guilty in the case. He's representing himself in court, and he cross-examined his ex for half an hour today before the judge cut the questioning off after repeatedly having to sustain objections from the prosecution. Brooks was later involved in an altercation with bailiffs when getting his COVID-19 test results, which came back negative. 2 parade attendees also testified today, and once again, the judge had to shut down Brooks's cross-examination after he pressed both of those witnesses as to whether they saw the plaintiff, state of Wisconsin, in the courtroom.
Why should I sit silent and let people paint him as a monster and treat him like he's nothing but a sewer rat when I know that is not my son?
For the first time since the start of this trial, Darrell Brooks' mom is sharing how she feels about her son, her thoughts on the case, and the message to the victims of that attack. Mary Stoker-Smith has this exclusive one-on-one interview.
What message do you have for the families that are left of the victims who died?
I just want them to know that that was not a deliberate act.
But the video shows him going and not stopping. How some people will ask, how is that not deliberate?
I asked him that question. And he said, Mama, I don't know. He said, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. He doesn't know. He can't answer that. I wished the police could have shot out the tires, something. But he can't tell me, and I can't tell you. Only God knows.
Is he remorseful?
We talk about the families often and the victims, and he says to me that he prays for them too, and he has to live with the fact that 6 people died because of him. He's full of shame.
Do you feel responsibility that?
Yes. If I would have just not bailed him out, none of this would have happened.
If he feels remorse, why the antics in court?
The antics in court is mental illness.
Is there anything you can say to tell him to stop?
I have told him.
Will you continue to?
I will continue to tell him.
You think Darrell should go to prison, and if for so, how long?
There should be some accountability to what he did. Yes, ma'am. How long? That's not for me to say.
That was Mary Stoker-Smith reporting from our affiliate in Milwaukee. Darrell Brooks faces 76 charges, including 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Each homicide charge carries a mandatory life sentence.